Lights, camera, action, I'm splashing.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss them, wheel and dip, limousine ride, jet flying, son of a gun. And I'm having a hard time holding these Detroit Lions down.
Pussy. What up, though, everybody? It's Mr. Lights, Camera, Action. I'm splashing, bringing you another episode of Up in Smoke. I am your host. And on this podcast, we're self-driven like Waymo. And we're still making plays like J-Mo. Speaking of J-Mo, forecast calls for major spillage on aisle 17. And I reign supreme. And how you like these threads? Huh? That's it. You know, this is a former number one pick back in 05. Be easy, Braylon Edwards. And I make it look easy. Edwards drafted in 05. 2004, Fred Biletnikoff a winner at Michigan, as he's a Detroit legend, as well as a Michigan legend. Go Blue. Now I'll tell you a fun fact. You know, these last couple weeks have been nothing short of a movie for me, as I actually ran into Braylon Edwards a couple Michigan games ago. That was all put together by my brother. That was a nice little treat there. You never know what's in store. Meeting Braylon Edwards, that was pretty dope. As I grew up watching him really all my childhood. You know, I remember back in 2003, 04, and 05, the guy did nothing but make plays. All right, so it was good to see you, Braylon. Maybe we can tap in. I can get you here on Up in Smoke. You never know. You see, one thing about me is I'm not like you. Moment something happens, you know, you gotta run and scurry to social media and post everything you do. This ain't no clout shit here, all right? But every once in a while, I gotta share a moment with you if I feel like you're deserving. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Mr. Lights, Camera, Action, and you know I'm splashing. Appreciate everybody tuning in with me as you do each and every week. And I appreciate your ear. Much respect. Now, I know I didn't put out a video last week. Just look at it that way, as my way of saying, you know what? I'm going to let you miss me. Okay? Fortunately for you guys, we're back here yet again. As it's another week, another opportunity I get to do this. This is fun. On this episode, we're going to talk about a Week 7 recap, followed by my Up in Smoke Players of the Week, who's in the hot box for good reason, as well as the Week 8 slate of games. My only question to you think you can handle all this smoke? Well, I'll see you in the clouds, pussy. Get into this Week 7 recap. Well, we got the Steelers at the Bengals, AFC North divisional matchup, the Unk Bowl, as both of these quarterbacks, Joe Flacco and Aaron Rodgers, in their 40s, proved that they can still throw it with the best of them. A-Rod, you had over 240 yards in this one, 4 touchdowns off 2 turnovers. But the talk in this game was just how cool Flacco really was, as he throws for 340 yards, 3 touchdowns, targeting Jamar Chase 23 times, making him the 3rd highest in NFL history. And on them 23 targets, Jamar Chase, you had 16 catches for 160 yards and a touchdown. T. Higgins, you find the end zone as well in this one. as the Bengals take down their divisional rival Pittsburgh Steelers in a 33-31 victory. London, England, Wembley Stadium, Rams at Jags, Matt Stafford, you absolutely explode in this one. 5 touchdowns. Devontae Adams, you had a hat trick in this one. No Puka Nacua as you were sidelined. No problem, as the Rams got off to an aggressive start early and didn't look back. As for the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, 296 yards and a touchdown. What a fucking dog and pony show that is. That offense looked like a dangling piece of shit there all night. As for you, Travis Hunter, you score your first touchdown in this one. You know, I said you'd score the week before, but you get it the week after. Nonetheless, you get the only touchdown in this one for Jacksonville. You know, you should really be wide receiver 1, as you had the best game of your NFL career there as a wide receiver. 8 catches for 101 yards and a touchdown. Now, my question here to Jacksonville is, where the fuck is Brian Thomas Jr. at? You know, I was higher than giraffe pussy on you. Then what, you go absent on me? Rams headbutt the Jaguars in England, 35-7. Dolphins at Cleveland, NFL's first lefty-lefty quarterback matchup since 2006, Michael Vick and Chris Sims. Michael Vick won that matchup, just in case you wanted to know. Tua Fish. Tua does what Tua does. Absolutely nothing. 100 yards and 3 interceptions. That fucking offense couldn't get a jump start. Can't say the same for Cleveland and Quinshon Judkins, as you had a hat trick in this game. Wait a minute. Would you get jealous and watch that early game there in London and Devontae Adams as he put up a hat trick? Would you say, I can do this too, hold my beer? You know, you lead all running backs, rookie running backs, in yards, touchdowns, and first downs, like I said you would. Cleveland nets the Dolphins to shore, 31-6. Dylan Gabriel, you get your first career win in the NFL. Patriots at Titans. Mike Vrabel's return to Tennessee, and he had Titans screaming Mayday. It's Drake May. You had another strong outing in this one. 222 yards and 2 touchdowns. You know, you're looking like one of the best quarterbacks there in your draft class. Keep it up, because I'm watching. Stephon, you had some digging in this game. 7 catches for 69 yards. Kayshon Boutte, another week, another touchdown out of you. You know, fantasy owners, you better take heed and pay attention, Mr. Kayshon Boutte. You know, he looks like Drake May's primary receiver there week after week. Tennessee, you ain't do dick in this one, as the Patriots bury you guys on your home turf, 31-13, and Mike Vrabel's homecoming to Tennessee. Panthers at Jets. You know, Carolina, you've been on a 3-game winning streak here as you take down the Jets, 13-6 in this one. Highlight of your season? Well, that's been Rico Dowdle, as he really's been putting the team on his back here in recent weeks. Now, a key point for you guys, Panthers, you get Chuba Hubbard back in your backfield there, and I expect to see some thunder and smash there for Carolina. Now, a low point for you guys, where your general in command went down with an injury, an ankle injury, as he's going to be out for a significant amount of time. Andy Dalton, Red Rifle, will step in his replacement. Jets, you know, you bench Justin Fields, okay, and you're going to go forward with Tyrod Taylor. You know, Woody Johnson, you're a real piece of shit for the comments you said about your quarterback. Good, bad, or indifferent, you went out and got this guy. Aaron Glenn in front office, you guys made this guy your starter. Now, I already seen the writing on the wall. You should have been fucking started Tyrod Taylor, who's now going to step in for the helm of Justin Fields. Saints at Bears, Spencer Rattler, Caleb Williams, both products of Oklahoma. Spencer Rattler had his job taken by Caleb Williams while at Oklahoma. He then transfers to South Carolina. Caleb Williams stays there for a minute. He then ups ship, transfers to USC with offensive guru Lincoln Riley. All right, now they're both in the league. You know this game was personal. Spencer Rattler, 233 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. Chris Olave, it's good to see you balling again. As you emerge in this one, you had 2 touchdowns. Chicago's defense stepped up big when it mattered the most, led by Dennis Allen, his old team. Chicago Bears offense is what led the spark, their running game, as it was led by DeAndre Swift, as they combined for over 222 yards that backfield and 2 touchdowns, as the Bears take down the Saints 26-14. Eagles at Vikings. Carson Wentz. You're playing against your old team that drafted you, making you the number 2 pick there back in 2016. And in this game, you had 313 yards, 2 interceptions, 1 taken back for 6. As the Eagles appeared to have you bottled up there all night. Jordan Mason. You know, you should really be MVP here early for the Vikings this season, as you've been having great production game after game. And in this game, you have 285 yards from scrimmage and a touchdown. Eagles, Jalen Hurts. You know, you had 326 yards, 3 touchdowns off, no interceptions. Oh, you can pass again? You know, I find that to be funny because I always knew you could pass in the first place. I know the NFL and Vegas is doing that cheating shit, trying to put a threshold on your offense. You know, because last year, you won the fucking championship. You beat the Chiefs. High-powered offense. Saquon Barkley. Now all of a sudden, you can't produce nothing. Your offense week after week's been stalling. Jalen Hurts, you've been the topic of that conversation. Eagles receiving duo. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. 303 yards receiving off 13 catches and 3 touchdowns. As the Eagles fly high there on the road, taking down Minnesota 28-22. Colts at Chargers. Good matchup right here in this one, as the Colts appear to be hotter than fish grease. And it doesn't look like their fire's coming to a cease. Led by Daniel Jones, Indiana Jones, and Jonathan Taylor, whom you had a hat trick in this one, scoring 3 touchdowns. You know, that's your 3rd time you doing that shit this year. Tyler Warren. You know, you don't even look like a rookie on that gridiron. You look like a vet. And in this one, you find the end zone. I tried to warn you. You know, despite Justin Herbert throwing for 420 yards, 3 touchdowns and 2 picks, Chargers Jim Harbaugh and his crew get duct taped and tied up at home as they take a loss here in this one, 38-24. Washington at Dallas. This is your NFC East divisional matchup. Cowboys Serdarian Lamb. You wasted no time getting busy coming back from injury as you were introduced to a Prescott bomb as you caught that touchdown, finishing with 5 catches for 110 yards. Cowboys, you asked for a running game. Well, now you got one as you went fishing in the offseason. Javonte Williams, you know, the running back from Denver. Now he's in Dallas. 116 yards and a touchdown. Jaden Daniels, 156 yards and a touchdown through the air. You had 1 on the ground as well. You did all this right before you went down there with an injury. You hit the sideline, get into the injury tent. You come out, you give your mother a thumbs up. But it makes me wonder just how serious this injury really is there. You know, the Commanders need you. but you're going to be out this Sunday against the Chiefs. Marcus Mariota is going to be stepping in to fill in for your relief. Dallas, you take down your divisional rivals at home as you command a victory over Washington, 44-24. Falcons at the 49ers, George Kittle, the Red Skittle. You come back from injury, mainly used as a decoy in this one as you finish with no catches. But the talk in this game, Christian McCaffrey, as you finish with over 200 yards from scrimmage and 2 touchdowns. Atlanta's own Bijan Robinson, you were a bit tamed in this one, but still finished with a touchdown nonetheless. Michael Penix, 241 yards and a touchdown, but still, with half of the 49ers on IR and on a stretcher, they still managed to stomp the Birds by 10 at home in a 20-10 victory. Bucs at Lions. You know, this was a tough matchup, but we already knew that one going into this one, as both teams weren't healthy by no means. Lions secondary, we were playing with all our backups as our starters were down. Brant serving that suspension. I got to give a big shout out to our whole defensive side of the ball as a unit. We played great. We really punched Baker Mayfield in the mouth, and it really hurt me because every time I watch Baker, you punch him in the mouth and he's always got an answer. Well, in this one, he didn't. Arthur Mollett, our newly acquired corner, he had that interception on Kate Otten. You know, I really like Arthur Mollett. Savvy veteran, been around the league for a couple teams, but the teams he's been on were championship pedigree, if you know what I mean. I'm going to give you a few names here, and I want you to remember them, because these are the guys that had Baker Mayfield in the Bucs passing game on clamps. Rock Ya-Sin, Saginaw Valley's very own Nick Whiteside, and Arthur Mollett. Big shouts out to you guys for stepping up, and in Detroit, it's next man up. St. Brown, you had a touchdown in this one, but the gift that keeps on giving, as I always say, Jahmyr Gibbs, you had a career day in this one, over 218 yards in this one and 2 touchdowns. As the Lions, we defend our den against Tampa Bay at home in a 24-9 victory. Let's get into these Up and Smoke players of the week. I got a few of them for this week. First Up and Smoke player, they're going to share this award because they play for the same team. Cincinnati Bengals, Jamar Chase and Joe Flacco. Flacco, in less than 2 weeks with your new team, the Bengals, in a big game against a divisional rival, Pittsburgh Steelers, 342 yards, 3 touchdowns, and you targeted Jamar Chase 23 times, making that the 3rd highest in NFL history. Chase, on them 23 targets, 16 catches, 161 yards and a touchdown as you guys take down Pittsburgh Steelers 33-31. Now my next Up and Smoke player of the week, my hometown Detroit's finest, the gift that keeps on giving. That's it, Jahmyr Gibbs. You have a career day in this one, 136 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and you show that you ain't a one-trick pony. 3 catches, 82 yards. You know, when you came into the league, I said you were the closest thing to Chris Johnson. And it's funny, I'm hearing that shit now. You know, Jahmyr, stay healthy as we make a Super Bowl push this year. My next Up and Smoke player of the week, Jaxson Smith-Ngiba. 8 catches, 123 yards and a touchdown. You know, you really are going crazy this year as you lead the league in receiving. You know, you remind me of a certain somebody that plays for my hometown. Let's get into this week 8 slate of games. Should be a good slate this week. Thursday, 8:15. We got the Vikings at the Chargers. Chargers are sitting at -3.5. They're on a point spread in this one. And I'm just going to tell you this. Carson Wentz, you've been playing like booty, all right? And it stinks. All them weapons and you can't make shit happen. On the flip side, Harbaugh and that Chargers team, I know they're upset that they lost against the Colts. They're coming to bounce back for a little bit of redemption. I think they get it here at home. I like the Chargers to get the win there. Sunday, 1 o'clock slate of games. We got the New York Jets at the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincy, you're sitting at -6.5 there on the point spread. And let me just say this. Aaron Glenn, what you've been doing there in New York, just not enough. You've been playing this quarterback. You don't want this guy. You want this guy, Tyrod, your guy. All right? Now, what are you going to do, Woody Johnson? All them comments you said about your quarterback, Justin Fields, you went out and got this guy in the offseason. Now it's up to you and your front office and your head coach to make something out of this guy. All right? Put this guy in the best position to win. You're not doing that right now. All right? I like Cincinnati to get the win here. Joe Cool. Let's just see how cool you really are, Flacco. Bears at Ravens. Baltimore, you're sitting at -6.5 here on the point spread in this one. Lamar Jackson, you're still out, saying you're going to come back this next week after this game. You know what? Baltimore, you might not make the playoffs. In a division that's already porous. Quarterback play. Aaron Rodgers, you're looking pretty decent. Cincinnati, that quarterback debacle. And don't even get me started with that shit show in Cleveland. But in this one, I like the Ravens to get the win there at home. You know what? Get a W. Just in time for your quarterback in command, Lamar Jackson, to come back and show you why he's a 2-time MVP. Dolphins at Falcons. Falcons, you're sitting at -7.5 here on the point spread in this one. You know what? You got two lefties at quarterback in this one. Tua Fish. You know what? I'm looking for you to bounce back if you can. Atlanta, Michael Penix. Every time I bet for you, you show me each and every time why you're not the guy. But in this one, I think you're going to be the better lefty. I like Atlanta to get the win there at home. Bills at Panthers. Bills are sitting at -7.5 here on the point spread in this one. Josh Allen, you're coming back off a bye week. That offense ain't looking like its peak right now. I like you, the MVP, to really put them back on track. I like you guys to get the win there on the road. Andy Dalton, you're going to be starting at quarterback. 49ers at the Houston Texans. Houston, you're sitting at -1.5 there on the point spread in this one. And I'm going to just say this, and I'm going to say it loud, CJ Stroud. You've been playing like dog shit this year, you and Houston. But you know what? I like you guys to bounce back. I like you guys to get the win in this one. Frisco, you guys are still beat up. Two of your best pieces on defense are out for the season. Now you get a fucking dose of what it feels like to be Detroit. Giants at the Eagles. Eagles are sitting at -7.5 here in this NFC East divisional matchup. Giants, you got the best of the Eagles this last matchup. It's dart season, and he showed you why. All right? On the flip side, Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, you can pass again, but you're going to be without A.J. Brown. Devontae Smith, I like you to get busy. Saquon Barkley, I like you to hit the end zone in this one as well. And this is a game I think Philly wins there at home. Browns at the Patriots. New England, you're sitting at -7.5 here on the point spread in this one. And I'm going to just say this. New England, I think you're starting to catch some fire here. Mike Vrabel, I like what you're doing there, especially with the progress of Drake May. Okay, he's dropping Mayday after Mayday every week on his opponents. And you know what? It's looking good. That offense is starting to click. Stephon is doing some digging. And in this one, I like New England to get the win here at home. Cleveland, you need nothing but a shit show. And that Dylan Gabriel shit you got going on needs to come to a screeching halt. All right, the fucking guy can't even see over his lineman. As I look at my watch, well, it looks like it's perfect timing. All right, time for you to put Shadur Sanders in there. and quit fucking self-sabotaging. Bucs at Saints. Bucs are sitting at -4.5 here in this NFC South divisional matchup. Well, and it's the Bank Show. Baker Mayfield, you're going to have to show the reason why you've been playing at an MVP level without your number one receiver. Mike Evans, that streak of 1,000 yards consecutively comes to a screeching halt. I hate that for you. But in this one, I like Tampa Bay to get the win. I just don't think New Orleans got enough juice in the tank. Titans at Colts. Colts are sitting at -14.5 here in this AFC South divisional battle. I'm just going to say this. Indiana Jones, he's been rounding them up and taking them down all year. And this ain't no different. Only thing difference is Cam Ward is a rookie. He's going to show you why he's a veteran in this league. I like what you got going on there, Daniel. You know, my brother's a big fan of yours, and I ain't believe. But you know what? I do believe in second chances. And what you got going on here with Indy needs to be taken notice. I like Indianapolis to get the win here at home. Jonathan Taylor, MVP. Cowboys at Denver. Denver. You're sitting at -3.5 here on the point spread in this one. And I'm going to just tell you this. How you like these threads? I like that CeeDee Lamb there. And you know who this is, or you should know who this is. This is Gold Jacket NFL Hall of Famer, Mr. Clamp Bailey, a.k.a. Champ Bailey, okay? A.k.a. do your research. He's one of the best corners in NFL history, all right? And it ain't no mystery. Now let's get back to this one. In this game, Dallas, you have an MVP at quarterback who's been playing at an elite level this year. On the other hand, we got Bo Nix and Sean Payton. You know I'm a Bo Nix guy. Denver's defense, you're top 5, and you're chasing history. You're chasing the 85 Bears' most sacks in the season. And you know what? It's scary hours. And I think you'll do it for all the right reasons. I like what you guys got going on. But in this one, I'm going to take Dallas. I like them receivers to really get after it. Pat Surtain, you're up for a big test, homie. Packers at Steelers. Green Bay, you're sitting at -3.5 there on a point spread in this one. This is going to be a great game, and I got my eyes glued. I'm going to tell you why. Mr. Ayahuasca is the reason why. Aaron Rodgers, you're playing against your old team for the first time in your career. And you know what? I think it's going to be one you're going to stick it in their rear. I like Steelers to get the win there at home. I know that might sound crazy, but you know what? I am. It just depends on who you're asking. All right? Now, Green Bay, you guys are very talented, and you'll be able to get after this Aaron Rodgers. And I know Micah Parsons been waiting to put a bruising on this cat. But you know what? I like Steelers to get the win there at home. Jordan Love. Well, I hope you got a lot of love here in this one because you're coming into this game playing against the quarterback that you came into the league backing up. This is going to be a great game. Monday night, 8:15. This is prime time as we got the Washington Commanders at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs, you're sitting at -10.5. They're on the point spread in this one. And let me just say this, Kansas City, you think I like that beatdown you put on my Raiders there a couple weeks ago? Yeah, I don't. All right. But you know what it appears? That Mr. Knick-Knack Paddywhack's got his swagger back. And I don't like that shit one bit either. But in this one, I like you guys to get busy against Washington. It's National Tight Ends Month. So you know what that means. I like Travis Kelce to get involved here early in this one. Put a touchdown on your parlay as well. On the flip side, for Washington, you're going to be out with your general in command there. As Jaden Daniels, he's going to be down there with a leg injury. Marcus Mariota, you step in for his relief. Savvy veteran to say the least. You got the weapons. But I don't like you to get the win here on the road going into that Red Sea with Andy Reid and his Chiefs. Knick-Knack Paddywhack's got that hush money, and that's a fact. Well, as I put the blunt out, I think that's enough smoke for today. Both of my teams are going into this week with a bye week, Lions and Raiders. But my team in college is playing, the Wolverines, as it's a big week, got a big game, rivalry week, and we're playing against them fuck sticks up the road. I'm not even going to say their name because they ain't even worthy. Let's go up to East Lansing and let's get a win any way we can. And what's underwood is understood. And let me just say one more thing before I get out of here up in smoke. You know, I've been seeing all this bullshit. Oh, well, I'm with Michigan for this season, but I'm with State for that season and for that reason, or I'm with it. Listen, it's either you're with them or you're with us. No in between. You know what that is, and you know what this is. Up in smoke. Pussy.